What's next? Check all your labels. So here's where we get into label legends. In your template, you will have no label legends. You had them before in the prior templates you used, like the one for the experimental theater, but I have helped you out so that you don't have to build them from scratch. So again, the label legend is like what determines where the color and the purpose and the unit number and the channel number, where all those things go around each lighting instrument symbol. You have to tell Vectorworks what to do with all that information. So, if you want to use my ready-made label legends, go to our Google Drive folder for this project and download this file, label legends, and then inside that, it's basically just a template of Weber Theater with no lighting fixtures in it, but it has label legends for the lights still. Open that file alongside your repplot file. Make sure that the label legends file is the tab that's showing in Vectorworks, so that's the one you're working in. Then go to the resource manager. If it's all collapsed, go to open files, expand that, and then expand label legends, and then find the folder titled label legends inside of it. There you see some label legends ready to go. Right click that folder and then say export. And from the export resource window, just find whatever you're calling your repplot file. So I'm calling mine lightplot final prep demo. Just select that and say OK, and that's going to export my label legends into your file. You'll get this window next, and it asks you to choose a destination folder. Don't touch anything here and just say OK, so that it puts that label legends folder in the root directory of the file. That's what you want. Say OK. And it should have worked if I now click to expand this repplot file. There it is. I've got it. OK? And then you can close the label legends file if you want. OK. So now you've got label legends available. So, once you have them, go ahead and make sure all your information is filled in to some degree anyway. I say in the email that it's a lot easier most of the time to finish labeling everything in Lightwrite. And then there's a way you can import or sync from Lightwrite. You can sync between Lightwrite and Vectorworks. It's cool. Changes you make in one program will automatically show up in the other. And since the Lightwrite is a spreadsheet, it becomes a lot faster to enter all these letters and numbers. But nevertheless, it's important to have some information in your label legends ahead of time, just so that you can see if the labels are going to show up correctly. Here's what I mean. First thing I'm going to do is make sure my positions are all numbered. Make sure the unit numbers are all there. So remember, you select the position. A bunch of people didn't do this in the last light plot they made, so here's a review. I'm just holding Shift and selecting all of my positions that have lights on them. And then I'm going to Object Info, and I'm finding the Auto Number button and clicking it. And that automatically gives every lighting instrument the correct unit number. I don't have to think about it at all, it's just done. Notice that they're not displaying yet. That's because I haven't assigned a label legend to any of these fixtures. So let's do that next. I'm going to use the find and modify command again to find all lights who are not selected and just not just select them. I'm going to go to where is it? There it is. Assign the label legend, so I can label legend everything at once if I want. Notice there are 4 options here. The ones that matter to you are probably just color source psych and legend 1. So legend 1 is like kind of a generic label legend that will work with most everything that you have in your inventory. It'll work for the source 4s, it'll work for the source 4 pars. Use CS psych, that's color source psych, for your psych units. What else? Probably Legend 1 works for the Color Force strip lights too. You'll find out, just experiment. One of these will probably work. Source 4 with scroller might work a little better if you're putting like a top hat or a barn door in something. It just adds a little extra space between the lens of the fixture and the label, so that your label isn't overlapping the accessory that you put in front of it. So try that out if you are using some accessories. Alright, so I'm just going to say Legend 1 for everything, because I think that'll work fine. And OK. And once I do that, hey, everything appears. And I have already populated some of my information. I've got a label saying the purpose of these is front light and the color is Li 202. You see the unit numbers there. I haven't channeled anything actually, and that's pretty typical. Light right is great for channeling. Don't worry about it. You have this circle here that holds the channel, so you can tell if you're going to have some overlap problems. Here's where you usually do have overlap problems, where it makes the information hard to read. Notice I can't tell if I don't enter the information, but as soon as I enter a purpose here, so maybe my purpose is HS for high side, enter, uh-oh, that's overlapping a whole bunch of stuff there. I'll fill in the color to, I don't know, R52. There, so that's a problem. That's going to obstruct a little bit of the lighting symbol of Unit 2, and it's going to really completely obstruct Unit 2's channel number. Can't have that. So, if I want, I can edit a whole label legend, make a whole new one, if I'm going to run into this problem a lot, which is often the case with high sides. But the easy way, which probably you can do and it won't take you much time, and saves you having to learn how to edit a label legend, is just select the fixture, find these little blue handles, these little blue squares. Zooming in makes it easier. Hover over them, click, and release, and then go somewhere different, click again, and you're moving that thing over. Do it for this too. And you want to keep them nice and tight to the instrument symbol that they go with still. So I want this to be here. Something like this is pretty typical. Just move them off to the side a little bit. Try and keep the same spacing. Really have to zoom in sometimes to get... it's really hard. Too far. This is why sometimes making a label legend just for it saves you a headache. Come on, one more try. Oh, 2 more tries. Okay, fine. You get the idea. So try to make that as consistent as possible. Every time you have to do it the same way. So always put the labels on top or below of the symbol every time you do it. Just kind of make it look consistent. Here's another example. So here I have an accessory. So this label legend doesn't work. I can try a different one by selecting the fixture and going to Object Info and scrolling pretty far down to where it says Use Legend. I've got a drop-down menu here where they all appear. Let's try the Source 4 with Scroller option. Almost. So close. So maybe that one won't quite work for a color extender, but I could just tweak it a little bit more. And then it works again. Again, that spacing isn't great. I could do a better job. Maybe. Maybe. Maybe not. Good enough for demonstration purposes. Okay. That's that. So you've got all your label legends assigned. You've got all the information you need in order typed into the object info fields in order to make sure that you don't have overlap issues, and you solve them all like we just did.